Alright, let's get right into it. Blender Simulator Fluid tutorial. If you have any questions, go in the comments and I'll answer them as fast as I can. I assume you know a bit of Blender, but I'll go step by step and mention whatever I'm doing. So for this simulation, we're gonna make the water flow just like in this video and hit the water wheel to make it rotate. So we're just gonna go on the Flip Fluid Addon website. You go into the Buy tab and get the demo version. The only difference between the demo version and the paid version is the watermark. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. So unless you have a client that you need to show your simulation to, get the demo version until you're comfortable enough and feel like it's worth paying for the license. And yeah, sometimes it's also on sale, so be on the lookout if you want to buy it. So click download. Get the file, and back in Blender, just go in Edit, Preferences, Add-on, and click the little arrow here, Install from disk. Then you go get your zip file and just install the Flip Fluid add-ons. So to get started with a fluid simulation, we need a domain. That's gonna restrict where the simulation is inside a volume. So our volume is going to be a cube here, Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and we're going to scale it up with S until it covers pretty much our whole scene. Now press N, go into the Flip Fluid Add-on toolbar, and click Create Domain with the cube selected. It's going to turn it in wireframe, and we can scale it down a bit, like if you go into edit mode, choose the face, this face here, press G along the x-axis, and there you go. You can take the floor too, put it higher. Doesn't matter much, but yeah. So we got the domain. The fluid's gonna be inside here, and to get the fluid going, we're gonna need another model, and we're gonna choose the UV sphere. So Shift A, Mesh, UV sphere. And this is going to be our fluid. When you select the UV sphere, you can go into the Physics tab and click Flip Fluid. Here in Type, there's going to be the domain, which we already know about. The fluid here is only if you want to make your model fluid, but not constantly come out water from it. Obstacle, we're going to see it later on. Inflow is what we need. This is gonna make fluid come out of the model constantly, just like a water hose. And outflow, it's gonna make fluid disappear when it touches the model. So we're not gonna use this. Inflow, it's gonna turn your UV sphere into wireframe also. And if you go look in the upper right corner in the outliner, it's also making them hidden when rendering. You see the little camera here with the X. So for the sphere, we're gonna put it right at the top of the water slide. So you can go into side view with the 3 on your numpad, and G, move it up here. Go into front view with 1 in your numpad. You can move it about right between the edges of the water slide. Scale it down with S until it's about this size, or maybe, yeah, we're gonna adjust it later on if we need to. I'm not sure if it makes any difference, but I usually apply scale here. So Control A can apply rotation and scale. I don't think it makes any difference, but I'm just doing it by good habit. All right, so now we have the fluid inflow and the domains. So we're pretty much good to go to have water. Just make sure you have auto load baked frames checked. This will make the simulation showing up when you render, when you bake. And click bake. There you go. Oh, yeah. You got water, but it's coming right through the water slide. That's because we need to make the water slide an obstacle. So select the water slide, go into the Physics tab, Flip Fluid, Type, Obstacle. And you can reset in the Flip Fluid toolbar and click Bake again. Now you can see that it's working, but there's some problem here. Let's talk about resolution. Here there's the settings for resolution right under the bake settings, and to show you what it does, we're gonna go into the domain, physics tab, and debug, display grid. This is gonna show you the resolution of the particles of the fluid. You see the squares here? If we bump up the resolution to 100, it makes the square smaller. This is the size of the particles. So if I put it to 500, it's going to be very small, and that's going to be very hard for your computer. Depends on the computer that you have. But yeah, some computers can go up to more than thousands, and some will struggle at 200. So be careful with this setting. We're going to go gradually and go to 100 now. Reset, bake. Let's see how it is. There you go. We got water flowing. It doesn't look very good, but we're gonna work with this right now. When before rendering, we're gonna fine tune it to have something that looks more realistic. So it's overshooting now. To fix this, we're gonna have the obstacle, the water slide, have more friction. So this is a more realistic simulation, and the wood from the water slide is gonna slow down the water. Let's put 0.25, reset, and bake. So let's see if it still overshoots or if it's fine. If it still overshoots, yeah, okay, we're gonna bump it up a bit more, 0.4. And here's a cool setting about flip fluid. You can resume your baking from a frame. So here, 51, it's gonna resume. Yeah, okay. For now, I'm gonna reset it all the way, but later on, we're gonna resume baking. So see, now it's quite slower, and it might just, hopefully it's gonna drop on the panel. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. We're gonna remove the grid to see better. And now the water goes right through the water wheel. Let's fix this by making it an obstacle. We don't need to add friction for this. I don't think it's gonna matter much. And we also need to make it rotate. So find your first frame where the water hits the water wheel, and we're gonna keyframe it by pressing I in the viewport. See, there's a keyframe here. And let's go all the way at the end, and with the water wheel selected, press R, and then to rotate, and then X to lock the X-axis, and rotate it a few times. Now, the more you rotate it, the faster it's gonna go. So be careful. You might want to eyeball it so it looks kind of realistic with the water flowing. And once you're happy with it, just press I again to insert the keyframe. And now we have the water wheel rotating. Yeah, perfect. Now that we have the animation going, we're gonna make it look good by adding material. Let's go into the domain, and in the materials tab, in the physics here, we're gonna choose the material that we want for the water. So for the surface, which is the water, I'm using ocean volumetric. You can use whatever you want. Give them a try. You'll see which one you prefer. Foam is simply foam, bubble here, and spray. If they show up as red here, click on import, and it's gonna work. And we want to also enable white water, which is gonna make the foam and bubble appears. Now to see if it works, let's go into a render mode, viewport shading, and yeah, there we go. So the white water isn't showing yet because we didn't bake with it enabled. So we can reset it and bake it again. Yeah, that looks good, but the whitewater is kind of big. We can make it smaller. Here in the whitewater display and render, just go to the particle display settings and scale it down a bit to 0.025, let's say. And this doesn't need any rebaking, so it's gonna show up right away. You can make it a bit bigger, 0.03. Resume. Yeah, that's good. And see, it's moving the water wheel. Yeah. Okay. That's fine, but we might want to put the resolution higher because now it looks kind of jiggly. It looks weird a bit, so we want to have something more realistic. Before making our final baking, you might want to change the cache directory and make it relative to the project file. And also, same goes for the render output. This is going to be the images that's going to render from the frames. So you might as well want to set relative to the blend files so that it's easier to go get once the rendering is done. All right, so let's bump up the resolution to 200 and see what it looks like. One thing I forgot about the water wheel animation is that you want to make it work with the simulation. So select the water wheel, go down in the mesh data export and check export animated mesh. This is going to make it work with the water fluid. So bake and see, it's going to go through the whole animation and then bake the simulation. So let's see how it looks, if we need to change the resolution or any other settings. This is actually pretty good. I like it. So I'll speed the footage a bit, and at the end we're going to render it out. Alright, that's going to be enough, but if you want to render the whole 250 frames, go ahead. I feel like there's too much white water, so I'm going to scale it down a bit more. In the domain, white water, and here 0.002. Yeah, we can see more of the water here, so this might be better. But yeah, doesn't matter much. 0.01. All right. 0.0015. Yeah, sure. This is gonna work out. All right, so now it's time to render the whole scene. So we need a camera for that. So Shift A, camera, and with the camera selected, press Ctrl A, 0. This is going to bring the camera facing right where your viewport is facing. You can go into the View tab of the toolbar, Camera to View, and then it's going to move the camera along with your controls. Pick the angle you want. Here, that's going to be mine. And don't forget to uncheck the Camera to View so you can come out of it. We're going to go back into the Flip Fluid add-ons. And here you can select your first frame if you want to start right away, or let's go here. I'm going to start at frame 36 because that's right when we're going to see the water come out. So start 36. And my last frame with water is, it's actually going to show up here, frame 128. Resume baking from frame 2. So my last frame is going to be frame 128. There you go. So we can press F12 to see how it's going to look. And yeah, I'm missing lighting. I could just add a sun. Go into the sun settings. Add some strength and see how it is now. Add a lot of strength. Move around the angle. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. You can go into the render settings, and I'm gonna lower down the max samples to 512 and add a time limit of 2 seconds. I don't need to have some fancy animation. This is just for tutorial purposes. You can have the max samples and keep it to default however you want. Let's go into output, and I'll put mine to 50% just so that it renders fast. And here you can see the frame start 36, frame end 128. That's the folder of the render where it's gonna all the image is gonna be. And in the fluid add-on, flip fluid add-on, there's a tab called render animation, and just launch it. So now it's gonna do its work. It's gonna render all the images for your animation. Once it's done, you can go into the folder, grab all the image, and go into your favorite video editing software and animate it. Then you can color correct your animation if it doesn't look as good as you want. And there you have it. Now that's a whole new world to explore with an infinite amount of possibilities. Play around with it, have fun, and let me know what you guys created in the comments. I hope this video was useful to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See ya!